three. It's Andrew Brook, and it's the Eagles that control it. Point guard Austin Brownlee with the basketball to start things off. Eagles try to get it inside, but picked off by Jason Stockner. Ramblin' Rams come the other way. Layup attempt, no good from Alex Lima, but he is fouled. He'll go to the line for two.
Mike, there's no question that BLUEFIELD doing right off the bat what they like to do, and that is push the basketball, create the tempo, and really force Embry-Riddle maybe out of their style.
Foul on Ryan Bailey, his first, sending Alex Lima, 6'5" senior from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to the line. Go through the starters real quick for you. For Embry-Riddle, Austin Brownlee, a freshman guard, will be at the point. Robbie Padgett, all-conference selection, honorable All-American, 6'2" junior at the other guard. Ryan Bailey, who just picked up the personal at the center. Jason Hersey and Andrew Brook will be at the forwards for Embry-Riddle College. As we mentioned, the number 8 seed in this tournament. Foul in the backcourt being called on the Ramblin' Rams of BLUEFIELD. BLUEFIELD likes to push it, and we'll take a look at their starting lineup. Spencer Wood, 5'8" sophomore from London, England, at the guard. Keith Hampton at the 2 guard. Brett Rice and Alex Lima at the forwards, and Jason Stockner, all-conference pick, at center. Steal attempt. Lima missing it again, as he had 2 cracks at the hoop. And it's Brownlee coming the other way for the Eagles. He'll go all the way to the hoop. Can't hit the layup, though, and Stockner with another rebound.
Mike, this is the kind of pace that BLUEFIELD would like, and you saw the pressure on the defensive end. Press attack is important today for Embry-Riddle.
Keith Hampton, the freshman of the year in the Tennessee-Virginia Conference. Coming the other way for the Eagles, that's Andrew Brook. Brook is fouled as he goes to the hoop. Good look right there, Coach Steve Ritter in his 7th year at Embry-Riddle, located in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Almost an intentional foul. It seemed like going to the hoop strong, yet at the same time, Brooks still had the presence of mind to try and knock down that 3-point play opportunity.
Brett Rice drawing the foul for BLUEFIELD. And Brook missing the free throw, shoots 65% for the year. Misses 2.
Some of the nerves playing out early on. Lima really running the floor. They're recognizing that as well. The post players need to run with Lima.
Brownlee working it inside, and missing the layup is Hersey. Eagles have had opportunities, but just can't bury it. Coming the other way, that was Spencer Wood. Retrieves his own rebound.
Shot selection not at a premium right now. Getting shots, but not necessarily good shots.
Early start
the
time.
Nerves, though.
Yeah, early start time too, Sean, I should mention. We start at 10:15 Mountain Time.
Mike, for these players, it's awfully early. Not used to this kind of AM basketball.
Coach Steve Ritter was trying to convince his team it's really 12:15 our time.
Convince all you want. They went to bed last night, probably not too early, full of excitement and anticipation.
3-point attempt off, no good from Rice. And Bailey with the rebound. Ryan Bailey, 6'5" senior from Raleigh, Mississippi, just making his 4th start of the year. Coach Steve Ritter crediting him with a big reason why Embry-Riddle playing so well coming into this tournament. Steal by Stockner. Rams bring it the other way. That's Hampton. Can't hit the 3. Rebound coming down to Brook. Brook will be fouled by Wood. Wood picking up his first personal, 2nd team foul on the Rams.
Prototypical pesky guard. Just slapping around down in the eye area, keeping the basketball. You got to protect the basketball if you're a post player. The guards are always there looking to slap it out of the hand.
Mike Ferguson into the lineup for the Rams, along with Ryan Lark. Lob pass inside going to Hersey, and he loses it. Wood brings it the other way. Rams running and gunning, as they like to do. That's Lark on the left side. Brownlee down with it, and 22nd timeout will be called by Coach Steve Ritter of Embry-Riddle College.
Seen enough of that kind of hectic and frantic pace
We've played just over 2.5 minutes of this first half of play, 17:28 remaining, and our score 1-0. I think that's pretty indicative of the kind of play we've had thus far.
Fantastic start to maybe a soccer or hockey game, but at this pace right now, not a lot of scoring going on early on. Teams have had opportunities. You can almost sense the nervous energy and wanting to do too much early on, and now it's a matter, as Coach Ritter did there, call the timeout. Let's get into our flow. Let's do what we do best.
In talking with him yesterday, he mentioned the importance of his team controlling the tempo in this basketball game, and thus far the tempo has been dictated by Bluefield.
You can change that using the press attack wisely, taking care of the basketball, and now start making good decisions. Use some of that clock, make them work defensively as well.
Paget working in the lane and hits. Robbie Paget, his first 2 points, leading scorer on the team at 18 a contest. Stockner inside, and that's where he likes the basketball. Jason Stockner with his first 2, and the lead back to Bluefield at 3-2.
Stockner only 6'2", but a presence down low.
Working inside Bailey, and the ball stripped away. Rams bring it the other way. Up ahead of Packett's Ferguson, back to Lark with the layup.
Right now just getting beat by numbers. Post players beating Embry-Riddle down the court with the numbers game, executing there in transition.
Rams definitely in control of the tempo of this basketball game, leading at 5-2. Bailey thought about the 15-footer, instead will drive inside. Hits the bucket and draws the foul, as the personal will go on Mike Ferguson. And going to the line for the 3-point play, Ryan Bailey. Bit shaken up after that play.
But he felt the contact and used the balance to kind of slide to the outside there, and then the kiss off the glass. Nice move by Bailey.
You see he's limping a little bit. Came down awful hard. Bailey averaging just about 3.5 a game.
Like there's 4 players on this team, and there's a little too much pain on that fall by, I want to say right there by Bailey that it was the hip area. Maybe it's an ankle, but either way, he's limping around.
Coming in for him, Pete Stubbs, a 6'5" sophomore from Lithonia, Georgia. Stubbs, a key 6 man for the Eagles,
Good
particularly
balance.
Defensively.
Good balance on this team, good depth as well. 4 players average 11+ points a game for Embry-Riddle.
We're tied up at 5, 16 minutes remaining in the first half.
Since the timeout, though, things have gone a little smoother on the offensive end for both teams.
Lima working his way into the key area, getting the easy layup, and the Rams back up by 2.
Looks active, Lima does early on.
Stubbs working inside with the left hand, but you can see the quickness that he possesses, unable to save it. And Lark will bring it the other way. Going to be a foul on Stubbs of Embry-Riddle's. He came over the back of Ferguson. Second team foul on the Eagles. Good look right there at Coach Steve Ritter. Interesting story, took over this program 7 years ago, a team that was 0-22. Didn't even have their own facility. In fact, this year moved into their own facility for the first time. Had been playing their games in a middle school.
State-of-the-art facility, though, as well. Over 2,200 seats. And they've responded. They've played well at home this year. I think those type of things help. 15-4 this year at home for Embry-Riddle.
Lark hits the 3-pointer. 38% shooter on the year from Trey Land. He buries that one, and the lead at 5 for Bluefield.
Still haven't seen Embry-Riddle get into their 3 game, the inside-out game that will showcase their shooting ability.
Brook inside on the block. Andrew Brook, his first 2 points.
I think you can see how the shooting game becomes a factor when the inside starts to score a little bit more frequently.
Another 3-pointer up and good. That's Gary Jeffrey, 5'10" sophomore from Man, West Virginia. And the Rams shooting lights out. Coach Walt Ayers' club on fire right now. Nearly stolen by Ferguson, but Brownlee getting it back inside for the easy layup to Jason Hersey.
Brownlee just a freshman, but showing some poise as well, the ability to pick up the loose ball and find the open man.
13-9 our score. Another 3-point attempt is off by Jeffrey. Here comes Paget, 15-footer. Can't hit that one, and Lima with the board for the Rams. Lark will pull up. Can't hit the shot. Battle for the loose ball. They're letting them play, and Brook down with it. Both of these clubs can score. Embry-Riddle coming in averaging 84 a game, while Bluefield averaging 92 a contest.
Somebody has to play defense, though, at this level. What got you here may have been offense, but at some point you're going to have to do the job on the defensive end. Both teams very conscious, though. We're going to shoot it. We're going to make sure we keep the up-tempo atmosphere.
Shot clock at 10.
And we haven't seen that threatened yet.
Brook backdoor to Paget. Beautiful play there. Robbie Paget now with 4 in the lead at 13-11 for the Rams.
The key to the pass, it never touched two hands. Using one hand, good look.
Hersey coming up with the steal. You can see, talking about tempo.
Not afraid to slow things up, use the offense, make Bluefield work on the defensive end.
Coach Waldair is very concerned about the Eagles' inside game and their height. Brownlee working inside, blocking foul going to be called on Lima. Lima picking up his first. Thus far, Bluefield has done a fairly decent job of denying Embry-Riddle's inside game, although the last couple of possessions, the Eagles have been working their way into the key area.
Quick first step by the freshman, sliding over late. Still presence of mind, looking for your teammate, looking to make that extra pass to get a little bit closer to the hoop. Good decision.
Brett Rice back in the lineup for Bluefield. Also RJ Stewart into the game for the Rams. Stubbs working inside, got to Hersey, was taken away by Stockner, who's also checked back in. Rams play all 12 players on the roster. That's Stewart inside. Stewart off the bench getting his first deuce, and the lead at 4 at 15-11.
Wood pushing it. Starting with the point guards here.
Pressure defense from the Rams. They'll be all over teams all game long. Hersey can't hit it inside. Second follow, misses that one as well.
There's definitely a size mismatch underneath.
The Eagles not taking advantage of it, though. Rice hits the three. Brett Rice, 6'1" senior from Oakland, Maryland.
Third three-pointer in the last 4 minutes for Bluefield. They're starting to find their range.
They lead it by 7 at 18-11. Backdoor cut, and once again, that's Paget. Second time he's worked that play to perfection. He now has 6.
They're going to overplay and extend defensively on the wings, fake a pass, and make the smart backdoor cut. Good execution.
Generally, when Paget shoots the basketball, you can count on it being good. Turnaround on the baseline. RJ Stewart off the bench for a quick 4. He averages just 4.5 a contest.
Getting the books early, RJ.
20-13 in favor of Bluefield. Paget working inside, try to get to Stubbs, knocked away. It'll still be Eagle basketball, 17 seconds left on the shot clock. 11-13 remaining in the first half. Bluefield on top by 7. Mike Stevenson, 5'11" junior from Jacksonville, Florida, into the game for the Eagles. Checking back in for Bluefield, Chad Sarton, 6'7" freshman from Coburn, Virginia. Stubbs drives it inside. Tried to get it to Brook, maybe should have thought about shooting it. Rams in transition, drawing the foul. That was Troy Hood, 6'3" junior from Alta Vista, Virginia.
When you go through conference and you get used to playing teams in a certain style, I almost think it hurts you that first game out when you're not really sure anything about the other opponent. Bluefield, a different type of tempo and really creates it. And I think right now that's just the adjustment for Embry-Riddle, getting settled, get into their continuity, and things will work out.
That last foul was on Mike Stevenson, third team foul on the Eagles. Meanwhile, Bluefield with 5. Keith Hampton with the basketball. He's just checked back into the game for the Rams.
Mike with the inbounds. They're playing more zone. Good hands there in the passing lane.
Stolen away by Anthony Burrows. Burrows going the other way. Can't hit the layup. Another missed layup on the part of the Eagles. Paget will try the three and buries it.
Quick release. A lot of contact on the layup, but Paget gets the extra point with that quick release.
Stolen by Stubbs. Those long arms and quick hands results in another turnover, and the foul is going to be called on Stockner of Bluefield. For Stockner, that's going to be his second foul. And that's one player that the Rams cannot afford to lose. All conference selection this past year. Leads the team in scoring, rebounding, and steals.
I'd say doing it on both ends of the floor, and well. Motion offense here.
Kersey tries a 15-footer. Nothing doing, and Hampton coming the other way. Wide open is Lima for the jam.
Terrific look in transition. Lima, again, outrunning his counterpart, really getting down the court, making you pay.
Rams up by 6 on the Eagles. We've passed the midway point of this first half. Stevenson in trouble. Dishes off. Hersey ball knocked away, nearly stolen. This Ram basketball team, they're a feisty bunch. They just keep coming at you, but you can afford to do that when you're dealing with 12 different players a game.
That kind of depth, it's somewhat amazing. Lima's showing you he can run, he can rise, and he can finish. But it all starts with the look from the point guard.
Checking into the game for the Rams, Gary Jeffrey. 5'10" sophomore back in. Also Mike Ferguson checking back in the lineup, coming in for Sarton. Rams rotate a lot of bodies in a short period of time. Also into the game, Jason Williams for Embry-Riddle. Williams, a 6'7" sophomore from Independence, Kentucky. Same hometown as this man, Steve Robbie Paget. Stubbs can't hit the inside shot. Boy, the Eagles have just missed so many shots inside the lane. Ferguson working inside. That's Williams with a board.
Mike, you could hear the coach Ritter say, slow down now, Ballard, slow down. They lead the country in field goal percentage shooting. You're talking nearly 53% as a team, yet they have missed the chippies and struggled a little bit so far in this first half.
Working inside, that is Williams. Williams, his first 2 points, averages 11 a game off the bench. Hampton ball knocked away and stolen by Burrows. Coming the other way, that's Paget.
Letting them play a little bit, aren't they?
No
Coaches
question.
as well.
A lot of bumping going on. Burrows, dribble drive, and hits.
And some hang time as well.
6'3" sophomore from Savannah, Georgia's first 2 points. Lark way off on the three. Here comes Stevenson for the Eagles. Dishes to Burrows. Can't hit the layup though.
Not finishing, they've had opportunities.
Hampton dishes Lima again and fouled. Stubbs with a hard foul.
Good to see the sportsmanship, but a fired up coach on the other end.
Walt Ayers
in transition. A lot of contact, good strong foul. NBA, you may see some heated action, but no, love the sportsmanship. Both players know they're just playing hard, but kind of a scary moment for Lima as well.
Matt Bailey, 6'3" freshman from Ormond Beach, Florida, into the lineup, number 22 for Embry-Riddle.
Mike, I thought Stubbs helped Lima out there. Yes, the hard foul, but Stubbs also kind of made sure with a free hand to hold up Lima for a minute, really avoid any serious injury.
The foul on Stubbs, his second, as Hood back in the lineup for Lark. Also Hersey getting ready to check back in for the Eagles. He'll check in for Stubbs, who will go to the bench with those 2 personal fouls. Alex Lima, all academic selection.
Both of these programs have some student athletes, literally to a T.
Lima hitting the free throw. He now has 7. As Stewart back in the lineup, coming in for Lima. 24-20 in favor of Bluefield. Hersey was wide open underneath, but Bailey will take it in himself, misses it. And Ferguson comes away with a loose ball for the Rams. Hampton. That's Hood left side. He'll try a three and hits nothing but cord.
Embry-Riddle's gotten to within 4 on 2 different occasions. They cut the gap and give up the free throws and then the 3-point play, and it's a 7-point lead again.
4-3 by the Rams. Foul at midcourt going to be called on Troy Hood, his first personal. 7th team foul on the Rams. So the Eagles will be shooting free throws for the remaining 7:37 of this first half, as Wood checking back in for the Rams.
Like the good news for Embry-Riddle in this department, good shooting free throw team, 71+% on the season. Paget leads the way, 86% free throw shooter, but that's a pretty good team percentage, 71%.
Stevenson on the year just shooting 62%, but hits the front end of the 1-and-1.
Leading the country at a Division I level. 3 schools from Utah, with Utah, BYU, and Weber State all around 77%. That's really getting it done.
Wood exploding to the bucket and coming up with a near steal.
He's in a lot of places right now. Wood playing a little bit quicker than the guards for Embry-Riddle.
That's the thing, if you're trying to dictate tempo, as the steal is made there by Hampton. He'll go the other way with the layup. Hampton, his first 2 points, averaging 14 a contest, lead at 29-22. You try to be quick but not fast because you want to keep tempo, but when you got guys buzzing all over you, it's pretty hard to keep from getting in that same frenzied mindset.
No question.
Williams working inside, gets the bucket and draws the foul inside. It's going to go on Ferguson of Bluefield. And Jason Williams a chance to complete the 3-point play.
A fortuitous roll right here. A lot of contact, some strength, but just a little flex of the wrist to get it toward the hoop, and found a home for 2.
Ferguson, his second personal. Jason Williams, 6'7" sophomore. Mentioned from Independence, Kentucky. Same town as Robbie Paget. Played at different schools though, high school rivals, now teammates.
Kentucky basketball, I'd say there's rivalry everywhere. The Bluegrass State.
Steve Ritter from Kentucky. Free throw no good, and Hood brings it the other way for the Rams. Tried to get a little fancy and instead threw it away. Coach Walt Ayers shaking his head. No, son, not that way. 29-24, 6:48 remaining in the first half.
And not much to speak of in the form of a timeout. Let them play. And what's interesting is, yes, it's an early game, but a lot of basketball in the short span of 6 days.
Stevenson taking the inbounds, goes all the way to the hoop, misses the layup, but there's Hersey with the follow.
It's a good decision, though, by the point guard. Take it strong to the hoop. You knew you had some weak side rebounding. Hersey there, right place.
The Rams actually looking to run a play here. Leading it by 3 at 29-26.
Have they seen the shot clock at 10? It's approaching.
Well, not quite, as Wood just fires it. Loose ball going to Burrows. And now the Eagles with an opportunity to draw within 1 or tie it up.
And the game more now along the pace and in the scoring column where they'd like it. Granted, both teams can score, but Bluefield really wants to push it. You haven't seen a lot forced by Embry-Riddle except passes today, and there have been many of those.
Sarton with the pickoff, and Wood comes the other way. Can't hit the chippy, though. Bailey down with it. Eagles looking for a foul, but they're letting them play. That's what we've noticed over the years in this tournament, Sean, is that the referees generally let the kids decide it on the floor. Don't blow the whistle an awful lot. Williams open from 15 and buries it. Jason Williams now with 6. And the Eagles within 1 at 29-28.
And 6 of those points come in the last 3 minutes. He stepped it up offensively. Nice spark.
Inside, Sarton working on Hersey. Goes baseline, shot blocked by Williams. Shot clock at 15. Rice will pull up for the three and hits. Brett Rice now with 6, both on 3-pointers. The lead back to 4. Williams try another 15-footer. Automatic.
It's a free throw.
Rams more than content to let him shoot it. Of course, this Ram team giving up 85 a contest. Rice, another 3-ball. He now has 9. The lead at 5.
Tough to catch up when you get 2 and they get 3. But that's been part of the storyline in this first half.
Entry pass from Hersey to Williams. Inside shot is blocked, but the foul will be called on R.J. Stewart of Bluefield, his first. And going to the line for 2 will be Jason Williams.
Looks like a lot of ball, but there's the body. And just a little extension there. When you slap down, you tend to get the call. Shot blockers, when you meet them at the pinnacle, if you kind of hang there and just meet the basketball rather than force down and draw the contact and initiate it.
Williams already with 9 off the bench. As I mentioned, averaging 11 a contest this year coming in. He draws the Rams within 3. Shot is short by Rice, and the foul's going to be called on Hood as Williams screening him off. Hood picking up his 2nd personal. Walt Ayers right there, 3rd-year head coach. First head coaching job at the collegiate level. Previous to that, though, an assistant at VMI and Austin Peay.
First ever appearance by Bluefield in the national tournament. Both these teams making the healthy trip. Virginia, Florida, and then having to deal with the AM basketball game. I know there's some people, and some kids especially, saying, you got to be kidding me. Rise and shine and get it done.
Williams will head back to the line. 10th team foul on Bluefield, so the Eagles with an opportunity now to get back in this ball game at the free throw line if they choose to, because they only have 14 fouls and they'll be shooting 2 shots the rest of this half.
They got within 29-28, a chance to get within 1 there for the 2nd time as this half progresses.
It's Gary Jeffrey with the basketball for Bluefield.
Some switching defenses by Emory Riddle. They were in the zone defense. Now they've gone back to man-to-man. Just shake things up a little bit. Make the offense think. Use some of that shot clock. For Bluefield, they like to have that pace. Take them out of their game.
8 seconds on the shot clock.
Like a matchup type zone is what it is.
Jeffrey driving inside, shot is blocked. Foul's going to be called on the backside. They're going to call it on Brook. Wow, tough call there. As Brook will pick up his first personal, but certainly looked like a clean block on that play.
A lot of ball. Williams comes over to take the charge, but actually the contact, as the official calls it, from behind, but a lot of ball. Hand on top of the ball, just as easily could have gotten that jump ball signal. That's not a good call, Bob, says Coach Ritter, working the sidelines.
I think you're right, Coach, at least from our angle.
Good thing we only had him on camera for that segment. You never know what might sneak out of the coach's mouth. Indeed, PG-13.
Jeffrey hitting both free throws. He now has 5. Lead back at 4 at 37-33. Just under 3.5 minutes remaining in our first half of play. Hersey open down low. Instead, the Eagles will swing it around. Brook open for 3. Airballs it, but the Rams lose it as Lima and Max Sloan not communicating down low. Eagles get the basketball, full shot clock. Inside is Brook, rejected by Lima, but Padgett there with the loose ball.
Athleticism on both ends for Lima.
Hersey works inside and gets the roll.
Fundamental, pump fake, strong to the hoop.
Second leading scorer on the Eagles this season, Hersey, senior from Orange Park, Florida.
If they can start making some of the easier shots they've had around the hoop, in the key, layups in transition, very good chance as a 20-second timeout is called by Bluefield. Very good chance that Emory-Riddle would have the lead, especially the way they shoot the basketball, 52%. And what leads the country? I think UCLA was among the leaders nationally. They were just over 50. There's a handful of teams. You're talking 3 teams in America at the Division I level that shoot over 50%. 52, it may not seem like much numerically, but significant when you're shooting that kind of percentage from the field, and it hasn't been that way in the first half.
Coach Waldair's pretty fired up. He was pretty laid back yesterday. He just basically says, I just throw the kids out there and let them play. I really don't do a whole lot. In fact, he even told me that he lets one of his players, Jason Stockner, take over in timeout sometimes.
He better get ready to take the charge. Nobody's stepping up. Hersey with the drive after that pump fake that I had alluded to, and the easy 2.
Hersey's had opportunities throughout this game, all-conference selection this year in the Florida Sun Conference. He has 6 points, could easily be double that though if he'd hit some of those chippies inside.
He was the conference tournament most valuable player. He did it in the postseason.
Rice working inside, can't hit. There's Brook with the rebound.
Defensive glass. Emory-Riddle's done the job. They haven't scored on the other end. I think that can change.
Haven't seen Ryan Bailey since he went out with that injury about 3 minutes into the contest. Hersey inside one more time. And he ties it up for the Eagles at 37, just over 2 minutes remaining in our first half.
Hersey gets the points, but the entry pass by Brook, the key.
But the Rams come right back. Max Sloan, 6'2" freshman from Lonoconing, Maryland. And if you baseball fans remember that hometown, Lefty Grove, originally from there, the Hall of Fame left-hander.
Again, it's a case for you, maybe some misspent youth, but nonetheless, a wealth of information.
Shot inside by Williams on the block. Williams now with 13, he leads the Eagles in scoring. Foul gonna be called on the Eagles. Austin Brownlee picking up his first.
Williams gives you a lot of steadiness off the bench. A post player that shows he has range. He's knocked down 15, 16-foot jumpers. The little jump hook that got the roll on the previous possession down on the block, and also some free throws. It's nice to have that commodity off the bench.
Mass substitutions as Hampton back into the game for the Rams. Also Stewart into the lineup, number 55. 40-39 in favor of Bluefield. We have not been short of offense in this first half of play.
Near walk right there. 7 3-pointers already made by Bluefield. You're going to have to contest that 3-point shot a little bit better.
Lark on the outside buries one. Make it 8. Lark with 2 of them. He has 8 points and the lead at 4 at 43-39. So we approach the 1-minute mark here in the first half.
You get close, you're knocking, you just can't yet get over the hump and take that lead.
Eagles actually got back and tied it up, and then the Rams answered with a 3. Williams can't hit the shot, but there's Hersey inside, misses the chippy. Lark will pull up for 3. Hersey with a rebound. 40 seconds and counting remaining in the first half, 43-39. Brook working inside, hits the bucket.
Defense came late. Terrific shot. That's a good finish.
43-41. 15 seconds remaining. And I'd say Rams hold for a last shot, but I know better than that. Hampton working inside, lost it. Lima picked it up though, misses the chippy. Hersey with a rebound, 4 seconds left. Brownlee didn't realize how much time. He has to get a shot off. And it would have counted if it had fallen, but it falls off, and that's the end of our first half here at Montgomery Fieldhouse on the campus of Northwest Nazarene College in Nampa, Idaho. First half between Bluefield and Emory-Riddle complete, and Bluefield on top by a score of 43-41. Todd Miles right now is down on the sidelines with Eagle head coach Steve Ritter.
Coach, overall impressions of the first half?
Concerns me the pace of the game right now. We cannot play that fast. We got to start utilizing our size. We've got bigger people inside, and I don't like the tempo of the game. We talked about it before we left, and we got to really slow this thing down and start utilizing Hersey and Jason Williams and Bailey inside. So that's something we need to address right away at halftime.
Is their press causing you some problems?
Not the press as much as they're just encouraging us to try to speed up, and then we're doing that and not trying to utilize our system. So we're going to work on that right now. We got to make some important decisions.
Great, Coach. Thanks. Good luck in the second half. Sean, Mike, back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Todd. As Bluefield on top, 43-41 and controlling tempo. That was Steve Ritter's message yesterday when I talked to him. They have been unable to do that, but still they have to feel pretty good in the fact they've missed a lot of shots and they're only down by 2.
Mike, if Bluefield can continue to shoot the basketball as well as they have from three-point land, that's where I see the trouble right now. They're a 34% team on the season from three-point land, yet 8 first-half threes. I understand controlling the tempo, but please contest that three-point shot. Get a hand up and see if the numbers can change on that end. Then you're not going the old trade-off 2 for 3 and find yourself essentially in a ball game where you could be leading, instead down by 2. But both a very good place right now. Both teams got the kinks out. Now it's a matter of the adjustments at halftime that Coach Ritter was talking about.
43-41 our score at halftime. We'll continue with more halftime activities from here in Nampa right after this quick timeout. (43-41) in favor of Bluefield College over Embry-Riddle here at halftime. Mike Boyle along with Sean McCall. 4th consecutive year that the NAIA Division II National Tournament has been held here in Nampa. And it's been an overwhelming success on McCall, and it's been a great tournament throughout and continues to be this year, as we've heard just nothing but rave reviews from the teams.
Mike, I want to tell you a few things at game 2 right now of what will be a very long week of basketball, and we'll have a chance to talk with James Chastain, who's the president and CEO of the NAIA. But right now, Todd Miles down courtside with Eric Forseth, who is the tournament director here for Nampa.
Eric, year 4 that NNC's hosted this tournament. Overall impressions of how things are going this year as opposed to the last 3 years?
Enthusiasm at all-time high, I believe. We have more than 50 sponsors. Golden Rule Autos kicking in 80 vehicles again for the tournament. Shiloh Inn's doing a boatload of rooms for the tournament VIPs, so it's going great.
In the last 4 years, it's expanded from 18 teams to 32 teams. What kind of problems has that presented you?
It's been a lot of logistical problems, but we've adapted to them. But really, this year is the first year we've had the same number of tournament teams, 32 last year, 32 this year. So it's been the smoothest running tournament so far.
How does a city like Nampa host an event like this? 32 teams in Nampa, that's a lot of teams in a small town.
It's a lot of teams. Some say in Boise, we have about 500 volunteers that help host the tournament. It's a big event.
I put you on the spot. Next year is the last year you guys have committed to host this. Do you think you want to bring it back?
I need a couple months to think about that. I do know we're excited about the 10,000-seat city arena that we're building. We're very excited about that possibility.
All right, Eric, thank you very much. Back up to you, Mike and Sean.
Thank you very much, Todd. Todd mentions the fact with Mr. Forseth that a new arena is being built here in Nampa, 10,000-seater. So I would imagine that the city of Nampa will put in a nice bid for that NAIA national tournament.
And why wouldn't they? And likewise, not that I'm the salesperson or the spokesperson, but the NAIA has endorsed this with NNC welcoming this tournament in 4 successful years, and it's only gotten bigger. There's a lot of positives, and if the facility can be upgraded to a point where capacity increases that much and you have the potential of a 10,000, 5-figure crowd, that's enough for NAIA officials, I'm sure, to welcome.
And you had the chance to speak with one of those officials, the president of the NAIA, Dr. James Chastain, earlier today, and talked a little bit about this tournament here in Nampa and where the NAIA is going.
James, this is an awfully exciting time of the year. They call it March Madness at the NC2A Division I level. I know there's the same kind of excitement here this week.
Well, you know, it is exciting for whatever level of basketball you participate in, and we have this 32-team tournament going on. We have a 32-team women's tournament going on this week. Next week, we have 64 more teams going into a national tournament. All these basketball games, 31 games in the 6-day period, it is really exciting and outstanding for us.
You bring up some numbers, and numbers for me talks about the growth of this national tournament. 4 years ago, when NNC first started hosting this tournament, 20 teams back-to-back years, it went to 24. Then 32 teams last year, 32 again. The growth to me seems like there's things in the right direction.
Well, it's a great experience for these teams, and our institutions wanted to be able to participate in the national tournament, and Napa does such a great job. We felt like what a great experience for young people. Embry-Riddle's getting to be here this year. Florida's well represented to be able to come to this tournament, and it's such a great experience for them, and to have 32 of them here, it's wonderful.
When you look at the NNC involvement, I know it's more than Eric Forseth and company. It seems like the entire community embraces this tournament, and help comes from everywhere.
You know, one example is they have 90-something automobiles that were donated for their use during this tournament. Great business and corporate support. I think it is indicative of what this valley, Treasure Valley, does for this basketball tournament. And I think the important thing is it makes the students feel special.
When you look at teams in this tournament, 375 some odd institutions, 32 get a chance to represent the NAIA at this level. Do you dare look at a favorite in your background and say, obviously Bethel College, a team with only one loss, but there's the local programs as well?
You know what makes it exciting? The teams that come in here and knock off some of the seeded teams. It creates excitement in the air. You never know what might happen, but if you like basketball and you want to see basketball, we have people who will sit here and watch 31 basketball games this week. So they get to see whatever upsets there are, and there are going to be some great games. I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be a good game.
There are no favorites. Everybody has a chance to win. Listen, I hope you have a great week. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and it is an exciting day for us.
Dr. James Chasteen, the president of the NAIA, and he's seen a good one so far in this first half. Bluefield, the Ramblin' Rams, leading the Eagles of Embry-Riddle by a score of 43-41. Some of the leading scorers thus far. Look at Embry-Riddle first of all. Jason Williams off the bench with 13 points in the first half. A big reason why the Eagles have been able to keep it close. Robbie Paget had 9 points. Jason Hersey had 8 points for Embry-Riddle in that first half of play. Meanwhile, for Bluefield, leading the way, very balanced attack. Brett Rice with 9 points, all of those coming on three-pointers as the Rams shot lights out in that first half of play. Following him was Ryan Lark with 8 points, and then 7 points for Alex Lima, the starting forward for Bluefield. But the pace of the game thus far dictated by the Rams, and that is shown in the fact that they have been shooting the ball particularly well. In the first half of the ball game, they kind of cooled off as the half went along. They finished the half at 41% from the floor. Meanwhile, Embry-Riddle, 60% from the floor, but boy, it could have been so much better than that as we take a look at some of the first half highlights.
Paget getting the backdoor cut. Good look there. I believe it was Brock with the pass. Paget, 60% field goal shooter in his own right. Take a look on the other end. This is Bluefield. They've been giving up or taking the three, and 8 for 16. Nice effort from beyond the arc.
And that's some of the highlights from our first half of play. Meanwhile, Todd Miles is down the sideline with head coach Walt Ayers from Bluefield.
Walt, 2-point lead heading into the second half. What do you think you need to continue to do to keep the lead?
We have got to get out and run. Plus, if we don't box out this half, it's Katie bar the door. We might as well just go on spring break.
You guys' first ever appearance in this tournament, you have to be pleased the way you guys came out and competed.
I thought so. You know, early, their adrenaline was going. They got tired real quick. I got tired, but I think we'll be okay this half if we just will box out.
Great, Coach. I appreciate it. Good luck in the second half. Mike, Sean, back up to you guys.
All right, thank you, Todd. Walt Ayers knowing that they have to run the basketball. Meanwhile, Coach Steve Ritter of Embry-Riddle knows they've got to control the tempo, control the pace. When they've done that, they've been very successful.
Indeed, both coaches know what got them here. Now we have to find a way to execute and do what we do best. For Coach Ritter, he also mentioned utilizing their big people. Utilize that system, why they shoot so well from the field. And I'm a little bit surprised by the numbers. Over 60% shooting, the 17 for 28 for Embry-Riddle. And it seemed as if they could have shot 75%. So I feel that the second half, maybe a good chance to showcase the strength inside. And Mike, for Bluefield, yes, they went 8 for 16 from the three-point land. But you take away that from their total field goals, and really they're only 6 for 18 inside the arc, 33%, and a much better shooting team outside the arc. Defensively for Embry-Riddle, you may need to contest that.
Embry-Riddle in the first half, just 1 3-point attempt, and that was good from Robbie Paget. which is surprising for a basketball team that averages 84 points a game and shot 40% from three-point land this year. Second half getting underway here from Montgomery Fieldhouse. Bluefield with the basketball and the lead. Both teams with the same starting fives to begin our second half of this first round action of the NAIA Division II National Basketball Championship. Rice with a three-point attempt, no good, and Hersey with the board for the Eagles.
Team's a little more relaxed, but also very cognizant right now that 20 minutes of basketball, and that may be it for your season. So there's still plenty of pressure involved.
Outside shot from Brownlee, can't hit it. Loose ball coming to Stockner. Hampton will try the three. Stockner with a rebound.
Long shots produce long rebounds. Stockner doing a nice job of reading that shot and where the carom would follow.
Stockner, the real leader of this Bluefield team.
Like the offense right now for Bluefield. As in transition, 3 at least on the perimeter. Almost that 4-1 offense where you look down low at Stockner, who had been in the paint, and then find an open man and let it fly.
Talk about both teams cognizant that second half it could be their season. Lima working inside, misses the layup with a tip up and good by Hampton. Talk with both coaches about the fact one traveling from Virginia, another traveling from Florida, quite a ways to come to Nampa, Idaho, and a long way to come to lose your first game. Paget, ball retrieved by Brook. Paget's open for the three and buries it.
He's 2 for 2 from that department.
He now has 12 points, but Hampton comes the other way. Hampton now with 6, 4 in this second half of play. 47-44 in favor of Bluefield. Brook working inside, tried to kick it to Hersey, but knocked away. Paget. Lazy pass inside to Hersey, and it's picked off by Rice. Alley-oop inside, and the foul going to be called on Brook as he and Lima going up, but you got an idea of the athletic ability of Mr. Lima there and the ability to get up.
Like, that's a lob pass from about 35 feet. And I just thought that Lima might consider catching and somehow the putback. But instead, he tried it in one motion, the hammer dunk. He's not afraid to go up in the air. You know you take a risk when you're going up in the air, especially that altitude. He can elevate. You take a little risk when you're getting bumped.
Foul on Brook, his second. And Lima now with 8 points. Lead at 4 for Bluefield. Lima completing the free throws.
5 for 6 for the big fella from the free throw line. Good touch.
Bailey trying to go inside to Hersey. Ball knocked away, stolen by Wood.
Wood can really push it.
Had the basketball knocked out of bounds. It'll still be Ram basketball with 30 seconds on the shot clock. Stubbs coming back in for the Eagles, coming in for Ryan Bailey.
Like you can see offensively what Embry-Riddle wants to do. They want to get it inside, but they forced the past 2 entry passes, resulting in turnovers. You need to be more selective.
Stockner inside, gets the roll. Stockner now with 4 points. Had a look at Ryan Bailey going to the bench, one of 2 licensed pilots. The other one, Mr. Stubbs, who came in for him, Pete Stubbs. Brook from the right side, able to bury the jump shot. He now has 6, and a 20-second timeout called by Steve Ritter of Embry-Riddle. Eagles will talk things over. They trail at 51-46, 7:15 remaining in the game.
Some stats that we can bring you up to date from halftime. Embry-Riddle with 11 turnovers, only 6 for Bluefield College, and 12 steals to boot for Bluefield College. The Rams creating some tempo on both ends.
They average 11 a game.
And 12 in the first half. Rebounding, that's why there was a concern for Coach Ayers for Bluefield. Only 13 rebounds, 21 for Embry-Riddle, using the size and trying to capitalize underneath. I thought Embry-Riddle a terrific job in the first half on the defensive glass, just couldn't convert on the offensive end.
Eagles this year out rebounding opponents by 2.5 a contest. The Rams, meanwhile, by 7 a game, if you can believe that. As small a team as they are.
They get some second chance just on quickness alone.
Lima working inside, can't hit the bucket, but does draw the foul on Stubbs. Stubbs picking up his third personal.
Last year, the host school NNC had a player named Emiko Atete who was an All-American and as good as anybody in the post and used his quickness, which is what we've seen from Lima. Puts it on the floor, shows some athleticism. I thought maybe that he walked with it on that initial first step, but nonetheless, that athleticism that lets you isolate down low in the post.
He reminds me a little bit of Atete with his quickness. He doesn't have nearly the size, though, of Atete.
Atete also had the advantage of playing in front of the home folk. The fans, the rabid fans here at Montgomery Fieldhouse, supporting the Crusaders' cause.
Lima hitting both free throws. Lead now at 7 at 53-46. Once again, the Eagles get close, and then the Rams draw back away. The Eagles just haven't been able to get over the hump. Second national NAIA tournament appearance for the Eagles as Hersey working inside. He now has 10. Lead back down to 5. They were back here in '93, got to the second round before losing to William Jewell, who eventually went on to the semifinals.
And played here in '92, which means they've been here now 3 of the last 5 years, almost making it a home postseason.
Brownlee hitting the jump shot. The lead at 3.
This has really been storyline since about the 10-point mark. Back and forth, but it's always been Embry-Riddle that's had to come from behind.
Stockner working inside, can't hit it, and Hersey with the board. Brownlee kicks it to Brook. Works it inside, can't get the bucket, but does draw the foul. Gonna go on Stockner. Jason Stockner, that's his third personal. Big call there if you're a Bluefield fan.
Putting it on the floor. Good body control, watch the adjustment in air. A little contact, but presence of mind to still use the glass, try to not only draw the contact, but a good move. Try to make the strong finish as well.
Played 4 minutes of the second half. Walt Ayers substituting the entire second team for the starters.
Get out. You're making me sick. Mass substitution. You don't get that at a lot of levels.
So an entirely new 5 on the floor for Bluefield. Brook hitting the free throw. He now has 7. And the Eagles within 2 at 53-51. Ball nearly stolen away by Brook. Tapped out top, and Stewart saves it.
Great
over
effort.
to Jeffrey.
Both sides showing you the effort and intensity.
Ball nearly stolen away. Foul going to be called on Brownlee. His second. 4th team foul on the Eagles. Meanwhile, Bluefield with just 1.
Bluefield, the shot clock was at 16. I'm hoping it can somehow get to 7, 5. I mean, that would be a record for Bluefield, would it not? Before the game's over, do you think they can get it down to 10?
Well, they have once. I think it was an accident. Hood.
An aberration.
Jeffrey kicks it to Stewart, who lobs it inside for Ferguson.
Terrific high-low, the triangle offense from the wing to the high post and then seal the defender. But the key is that final pass. You got to have the lob pass.
Brownlee breaking the pressure. Drives inside, gets it to Stubbs. Stubbs fouled down on the block. He'll go to the line for 2. Foul call on Mike Ferguson, his 3rd.
Thought that Brownlee a little bit out of control and had left his feet already, but good things can happen sometimes when you take it strong to the hoop. A lot of people, the 3-on-1 or 1-on-3.
Stubbs rolling in the free throw, 68% shooter from the charity stripe. His first point of the game as Chad Sarton checking back in, coming in for Ferguson, who goes to the bench with those 3 personals. Stubbs now with his first 2, and the lead once again down to 2 at 55-53. 15 minutes remaining in the game. Knocked away, nearly stolen, battle for loose ball, and that's Stewart one more time, saving it out to Jeffrey.
It just seems that they've been a little more fortunate, whether that they've been scrappier, hungrier, nose for the ball, but Bluefield seem to have gotten the breaks early on.
Stewart can't hit the shot, knocked out of bounds by Hood of Bluefield, so the Eagles get the basketball with a chance to tie it up or take the lead.
Does it seem that Bluefield to you, getting those loose balls, getting their hands on a few more passes, it's just a half step, maybe not even that?
May come from the fact that most of these guys are going to play 15, 18 minutes a game tops because of the depth.
You know you're out there and make a hardy run, do what you have to do and get a breather.
Stubbs open from 12, can't hit the shot. Hersey inside, can't hit it. Battling down low, Stubbs loses it to Hood, and here come the Rams on the break. Sarton tries a 15-footer way off. Loose ball goes right to Jeffrey, though. He's everywhere. Hood hits the three. Hood now with 6, and once again, the lead back up to 5.
It does have back-breaking effect, that three-pointer.
Eagles just cannot get over the hump. Foul's going to be called on Stewart. His second personal foul.
Mike, in the first half, they clawed, the Eagles did, to tie it at 32. They've gotten within 1. I believe at 37 all, they had a tie, then a three-pointer to make it a three-point game. And now you have a 2-point game back to a 5 with the 3 ball. It's frustrating.
The Eagles keep coming back, though. Paget thought about the 3. Instead, will drive into the lane, running one-hander good.
Explosive with the dribble and using that jumping ability.
Has a great ability to create a shot. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't start to take over this game late if the Eagles are behind. Stewart working inside. Fouled in the paint by Hersey. Hersey, his first personal foul. Williams checking back into the game. Jason Williams had that big first half with 13 points. Coming in for Hersey. And Ryan Bailey, haven't seen much of him in this contest. Stewart hitting the free throw. Bailey shaken up early in the game on a driving layup. Don't know if it was an ankle or hip or knee. But the fact of the matter is he's on the bench. 60-55 in favor of the Rams. Just under 13 and a half minutes remaining in the game. Paget working down low. Gets the roll.
Absorbing the contact. You're right about creating a shot. Felt the defense and used that little spin move toward the middle of the key.
Just a smart player, and that's the one attribute as Williams makes the steal that Coach Steve Ritter had for Paget. Is the fact he works hard outside of the gym, outside of practice, and studies the game. Stubbs is open underneath and hits the layup. Stubbs' first field goal, and the lead back down to 1 at 60-59. Hood comes the other way. Can't hit. Paget with the rebound. Now the Eagles a chance to take the lead once again.
They led 2-1, and that's all she wrote.
They have not led since that point. They've tied it up a couple times. Paget working inside. Has to dish it back out. And a walking call going to be whistled on Brownlee. Boy, just the little things that start to wear on you after a while. Timeout on the floor with 12:25 remaining in our second half of play. Bluefield on top of Embry-Riddle, 60-59. Let's go right now down to the sidelines and Todd Miles.
Mike, Sean, during the last timeout, Steve Ritter was real concerned with his team's transition defense. Told the big guys they need to get back and fill the lanes. At that time, they trailed by 7. Now they're down just 1, so obviously he knew what he was talking about. Mike, Steve, Mike and Sean, back up to you guys.
All right, Todd.
I can tell you that will live in infamy. Steve, Shane, Nick, just as long as they sign the check the right way. I think that's the most important thing.
You know, I've known Todd for years, and I'll have to remind him who I am. 60-59 in favor
Steve's my evil
BLUEFIELD.
twin, but I appreciate him bringing it out on the air.
Stocker with the board. Gets it to Hood.
Big defensive stance right here. Chance to take the lead for Embry-Riddle if you do your job on the defensive end.
Lima working inside and gets the jam with authority.
Hung tough for about 15, 18 seconds, and then defense gave in.
And the other way, and Brooke going down with a twisted ankle, and he is hurt.
Oh, you hate to see that any time of the season. Boy, a lot of contact. Watch this move by